my government workers that watch my YouTube channel. If the government of Zambia tells you to do anything that is compromising whatever ministry or department you're in, don't do it because you're scared you're going to lose your job. Hi guys, it's your girl lilymutamztv, also known as Z, girl from Zambia. If you're new to my YouTube channel, please subscribe so that each time I upload videos, you will be notified that Z uploads a video. In this video, I will be talking about Ian Mutombo. Ian lost his life in an accident last week when he was on the Power Tools bus, which took other lives of about 12 more people, and he was transporting samples from point A to point B, and those samples were found on the bus and he lost his life. There has been a huge debate on social media. Others have said maybe Ian was given money to travel by proper means of transport. There is a budget for these people, but then maybe this person used the money. And then others have said it's not the government's fault that Ian has died. I wonder how people don't even feel compassion. It's not the government's fault. It's not Dr. Chilufia's fault. People should not put the blame on him. Well, it is his ministry. So I spoke to his family because I asked that, you know, lilymutamztv, which is my YouTube channel, a bit of the revenue that we'll make because I've been sharing his videos, I want to donate to the family. And if you can as well, my subscribers, it will be a good thing. But in this case, you have to do it with wisdom because you might send money to the wrong person. For me, I would say it's better to buy the family provisions, and I will tell you why I've suggested that. So people tagged a lady named Hilda SATA as the mom, and I contacted her first. When I checked her page, I had seen she had written a very long post, and I was a bit skeptical because if I lost my child, God forbid, I wouldn't have time for Facebook to post. So I was just wondering, like, oh wow, this is an enlightened mom. She's even posting on her social media. And then we spoke via DM on Messenger, and then we spoke on phone. She actually called me. We spoke for some time, and she explained a few things that made me understand the situation. So basically, Ian is Hilda SATA's young sister's son. He's the firstborn, and he used to live in the village because the lady has never really grown up in the town. He's lived in the village with his mom. His mom lives there till now. And the time when the children were growing a little bit, you know, they are growing older, Hilda SATA and some other family members decided that the children should come to the city so that they should go to school and empower themselves so that they could help their mother. That is how Ian was brought to the city, for him to be going to school instead of him staying in the village. And he was able to acquire himself some qualifications, because I read somewhere where somebody said, oh, he's a SATA, like, because SATA is our former late president, so people assumed they have money, you know. But the situation is Ian Mutombo, meaning his father is a Mutambo, not a SATA. So he's not entitled to any SATA benefits or SATA monies that people are assuming. So the woman stated that, Hilda SATA stated that Ian has been working and he's been helping the family, and the mother is in a distressful situation. She never expected this to happen. Her only hope, her son taken from her. That's the devastating part for her. And it is therefore my plea that if you can find a loyal family member, please be careful. If you want guidance, I can guide you to the right person so that you can donate a few provisions, meal, soap, you know, sugar, salt, bread, things like that. Please do not give money. I'm begging you, because I know people can take advantage of this situation and the money will not reach the recipient. At this point, Ian's mother needs your love, your support. She's not educated. She lives in the village, and having your only son that was going to school, that has finished his studies and is now working, it was such an inspiration for her, because then she's in the village and the son was able to provide for the family. And it is such a sad situation. And Dr. Chilufia's statement was absolutely appalling. He didn't show any accountability or remorse. He stated that the Ministry of Health have sent samples several times by bus. And I'm thinking, you guys, you should have a pot of funds. You see, this is why even Bill Gates is saying that if the coronavirus hits Africa, a lot of bodies will be dead. A lot of bodies will be found in the streets like that, because they know that the African leaders, they do not pay attention to look after their people, especially when it comes to health and education, the two most important things for one to live in this life. Bill Gates was in Nigeria a few years ago when Dangote invited him for his daughter's wedding. By then, I was not a vlogger. I was not impressed, by the way, by him being in Nigeria. Nigerians were making noise as to how big people's celebrations, they invite big people like Bill Gates. And Bill Gates was just watching as he saw Nigerian ministers that get paid $40,000 a month, dancing, throwing money, dishing money away. He waited for them for the following day or so when they had a meeting, and he said he is shocked at the level of poverty in Nigeria. Nigeria has a lot of billionaires, but trust me, I have been to Nigeria, and I'll tell you, Nigeria, you will be disappointed with the Nigeria you see on their movies. Trust me, you will be shocked. A lot of people in Nigeria are struggling. And that's what happens even in Zambia and other parts of Africa. So it worries me when I hear a minister who doesn't even care and says, oh, it's because that's how we've always done it. You mean you don't have a bus or a car, a special car with a cooler container, whatever, that can transport these tests? Because we don't mind even if you're taking it by road, but you have your own specific vehicle. He was justifying everything by saying that they've always done that. So for the past years, we don't know who's even been infected of HIV because of this type of negligence. Because somebody who's into drugs might have picked up a needle that has been dropped by the person who's transporting the samples and injects himself and contracts HIV because of your negligence and care. I think Dr. Chilufya should have done better. He should have said a better statement. Even in speaking to the family, you can see that this boy was their rock, and you come and make such a statement. Are you a proper minister? Honestly, you need to even step down, and you call yourself a doctor that doesn't even think in the lines of safety for other people. You just say whatever you want to say because it suits you and because your pocket is fatter than the other people. And then the issue of the young man being flown from where his body was found to where they are burying him. I don't know whether it's in Pika. It's shocking that he was flown by the government of Zambia. They flew his body, but they did not fly samples. That shows you that in Zambia, they value dead bodies more than a human being. You see a dead body of somebody prominent, they will even do a state funeral, but they never liked this person. You are fighting with this person when you guys were political leaders, but you make a state funeral, you make an important funeral, you make an announcement everywhere. You are even there sponsoring and supporting the funeral, removing money. Why not support the person when they were alive and well? It's wickedness. Pure wickedness. Why should you only fly Ian when he's dead? When Ian needed you guys to fly him when he was alive. At least even if you send the samples by air and Ian is going by bus, maybe it will make sense. But because Ian, being the humble guy, he accepted to take the samples. After all, this is the only income he has that is helping him to survive, to help his family. So he has no choice but to transport those samples. Please, my government workers that watch my YouTube channel, If the government of Zambia tells you to do anything that is compromising, whatever ministry or department you're in, don't do it because you're scared you're going to lose your job. Contest, deny. You have every right to deny. I wish Ian had said it is not safe. I wish he had even came up with an excuse of I'm not feeling well. But because he knew where he's coming from, he knew he needed to feed his mother. He knew his siblings were waiting for him. He knew that every eye was on him. So he had to work hard in order for him to feed his family. Only to be taken away from the earth with the cruel hands of death. Death is inevitable, but it is painful when negligence is involved. Yes, some people will say it was his time, but negligence was involved. Because there are situations even you and me, we put ourselves in. If we say we will not do it, we can do it. I'll give an example of childbirth. There are people I know, women, who say they are not going to have a child with a man who's not their husband, and they don't keep the pregnancies. But I decided to keep my pregnancies. You understand? So it's a choices. I could have chosen that path, but I chose this path. Whilst others choose that path, I chose this path. So some things that happen, death can be prevented. Death can be prevented. It's so sad that Ian has lost his life in such a horrible manner. I shared on my YouTube channel a video because I wanted you guys to just see how he was being flown. His colleagues are devastated. They are disappointed that this has happened to him. But because he was on duty as a government worker, he should have been looked after well. He should have been taken care of and not being put on a public bus to transport the samples. So that's what I wanted to update you. The family may need your help. I know times are hard. This is the coronavirus period. But anything you can share, if you have Nakonde rice, I know there is coronavirus in Nakonde, but if you have Nakonde rice that is genuine and clean, you can donate your rice, you can donate your sugar, you can donate your salt, donate whatever you can. I am sure the family will appreciate every gesture. I made a statement on my Facebook page where I was saying that if I become the president of Zambia, what I will do is make sure every government worker has a vehicle, a 4x4 Hilux. Reason being that if these people are working for the government has a huge pot of funds that come in from taxes. They can afford to get cars even on finance because it's a government getting these cars on a loan. And when they get these cars on a loan, they can pay little by little to companies like Toyota Zambia, and they can afford to give these cars to the workers. So I was saying every government worker should have a driving license and should be provided with a company vehicle or their own personal vehicle. We can call it company vehicle, personal vehicle, which they would use. In that case, we would prevent unnecessary deaths. Honestly, if that was the case, Ian would have never lost his life, because then he would have just hopped into his vehicle, put fuel in the car, and whoever is driving him would have driven him to Lusaka where the samples were needed. But because our politicians only think of themselves and as to how they will buy cars for their girlfriends. And you know what, when Sia1 was saying that about your politicians, they have shops and whatever, I know a lady in Zambia who is a successful business person who has shops at arcades, at Manda Hill. You know the business very well. You don't even know the person behind the business. That person is dating a married minister. I know a lady who is into journalism, very popular figure that is dating a married minister. He even bought her a car. So when he's saying these things, it's not like he's joking. These are things that are happening because these same girls go and collect power from Sia1. They go and collect juju from South African Babalawo, because that's the only way their relationships can be sustained, through using juju. So it's not gossip, it's true. They go to South Africa. Some of them have flats, apartments there. They'll be there showing off on Instagram, on Facebook, wherever. But their source of income is from a married man. There are some of the women who are above 30 years old and they have one or two child like that. And they think, oh, no one will marry me. After all, my market is finished. So the only solution is to go for these married MPs. They are spending a lot of money. You'll be in shock. They spend your money, taxpayers' money. In fact, if you know these same people who are dating these ministers, you will never even comment on their page and say you are my inspiration. They are not your inspiration, I'm telling you. You will never even support their businesses when you know that this is a person who's going out with the minister. But I'm not here to do that. But I'm just here to tell you that don't even be in support of people who come and lie to you that there's no money in the government. The government has no money. The government has a lot of money. I have seen pictures of a lady who had her kitchen party, an MP in Zambia. The kitchen party was full of champagne. Every table, champagne. The champagnes were custom made, with your name there. That's the type of party she had. It was in Chisamba. Now imagine people traveling from Lusaka to Chisamba just to go and enjoy themselves at this kitchen party. It was not a joke. It was customized gifts everywhere. Champagne on every table. That's an MP for you, enjoying their life whilst you are in poverty. Vote wisely in 2021. I'm telling you, vote wisely. I wish, by God's grace, I told the president of Zambia, I commented on his page, that if you make me the youth communications minister, you will win the next elections. Honestly, because I will make sure this government changes a lot of things. Honestly, there's a lot of things that are behind in Zambia. We can't be in the 21st century and be flying only dead bodies. We cannot fly samples. 21st century, 2020. In an era where things have changed, where you can even fly a drone to shoot a whole place, you are still using a bus, public bus, not even any bus, Power Tools bus, those yellow buses. I hate those buses. Hey, I don't even want to get on that Power Tools bus. Sorry for people who like Power Tools. I know they speed a lot, they're fast, but I don't like Power Tools. I use other buses. Yeah. So you will be upset if you knew these girls that are dating your minister. They are the ones that shine on Facebook, looking nice, Brazilian hair every time, changing their hair, changing their makeup. It's your money they use, taxpayers' money. So vote wisely in 2021. And I'm still trying to speak to the president to see if he can put me as a minister of communication so that I can empower the youth of Zambia. Yes. It's a girl, lilymutamztv, also known as Gelowapazed. See you on my next video. I love you guys.
Thanks for watching my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button and follow me on all social media platforms at lilymutamztv.